Meanwhile, in the pod cave.
And welcome back to another edition of the Podmen. I'm Brad.
I'm Brian.
I'm Podman Ron.
And we may have a fourth member join us a little bit later. But we'll see. We'll see. We aren't holding our breath.
Is this another special guest that I've been told about?
You know what? I would like to think that if we actually had listeners, they would have enjoyed that last episode.
That was a good episode, actually.
Did you go back and listen to it?
Yeah, it was a good episode.
Buddy was a hell of an interview. I mean,
Yeah, he was.
All you had to do was say hi, and then he took off.
Yeah, he didn't take my job.
It's pretty bad when three interviewers couldn't keep up with the interviewee. I mean, we would be horrible late night hosts.
Yeah, we really would be.
Was the special guest Alex potentially? Alex said he was going to be on the podcast.
I know.
At what point do we demote him back to an intern?
You know, I mean, I've been thinking about this a lot recently. The biggest problem I have is that I have to change the artwork because I've got four characters on it, and that feels like a big hassle to Photoshop him out. So I'd rather him just come back.
Can you just put an X over his face?
The X Pod Man.
It's sad to say he's got more of a life than we do. So.
Well, that's to be expected.
That's right.
Oh, wow. All right, but hey, it's his fault because we have so many new movies and TV shows to talk about. I know in the green we're hoping we can't cover John Wick 4 quite yet. PMR hasn't seen it. I still have to watch all of John Wick 1. I think I've seen most of it, but I can't say I've seen all of it, I don't think. But we can talk about Creed 2.
Oh, yeah.
Shazam 2.
3.
Creed 3.
Creed 3, Shazam 2, yes.
Oh, okay. All right. I can't keep up with that either. Picard TV. Picard. You guys watch that, I'm sure?
Yeah.
Mostly. Mandalorian?
I haven't watched any of that.
I've watched the first
I only got a little bit of time, I only got a narrow space.
I know. You got to be picky and choosy, as we've.
That's it.
We'll hit upon the in memoriam section as well. And then some what you're looking at, probably. Yes, Brian.
Yeah, I got like 2, I think.
Wow.
2 what you're looking at.
Oh, I just had 2 memorials.
Memoriams.
I think we do have a couple of them. I don't know. Well, before we get to that, again, lots of stuff, good stuff and bad stuff happening in the nerd news. Let's hit the news desk. BMR's adding his own sound effects there, Brian.
Oh, can y'all hear that when the music?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's right. We're recording a podcast. I forgot.
Wait, what?
He just whistling.
You don't just mute me out, Brad.
You can't just mute me. But at least you were whistling a nice little tune there along with
Exactly. Thank you very much,
Brian. What the hell's going on in the world?
Several things. Some good, some bad, some head scratchers. First off, there is a rumored Avatar 3 9-hour cut coming to Disney Plus.
Jesus Christ.
A 9-hour cut.
Avatar 3 or 2? Avatar 2.
Avatar 2. It's already 3 hours. That's only a third of the footage he filmed.
It's like the whole thing unfolds in real time.
Oh, look at this.
God.
Look at this shit. Y'all looking at this? Wait.
We can't see anything you're doing.
Oh, gosh, PMR.
You see it?
PMR's trying to show us something on his phone.
No, never mind.
Nothing like visuals on an audio medium.
Yeah, can your listeners see this?
Can you guys see this?
I am seeing you guys. What the hell?
You turn your camera on. But Brian, so tell me what. So we've got 9 hours. 9 hours, you said, right, of Avatar 2.
9 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then, a week later or so, Zack Snyder comes out and says, "Oh yeah, Well, I'm going to give you 10 hours worth of the Snyderverse and theatrical release. I mean, these directors are getting a little nutty, right?
They're getting a little nutty. Yeah, and that was the next one. You're right. So
pretty good.
And I don't. Should we wait for his Starbucks order?
Large coffee with cream, 5 Splendas, and a shot of
blueberry.
Large coffee, cream, farm sugar.
5 Splendas. Y'all go ahead and talk.
That's okay.
No. This is fascinating.
Shot of blueberry.
Shot of blueberry. He's still on that blueberry coffee. I love it.
Thank you.
I have not tried that yet, Brian. Have you?
No, I have not tried that. He was down here, and we still didn't try it. We should have gone out and tried it.
I cannot believe you missed that opportunity away.
I'm on my way.
What?
He's talking to the barista. Sorry, I've got your coffee. I'm on my way.
Do you think the barista doesn't know how the drive-thru works?
No, he started talking to me again. He's not talking to me again.
I'm on my way. I'm 3 car lengths away. I'll be there shortly.
I'm flashing my headlights.
He's not talking
Can you
to
see me?
Again. He thought I was talking to him when I was talking to y'all, you know?
Okay, sir, that'll be $4.50. I'm on my way. I'll be right there.
Good. Yes. So, bringing it back to Zack Snyder, apparently there was an announcement. He was making an announcement that end of April, there's going to be a 3-day, something's going to happen, a 3-day thing. And he's apparently doing like a Snyder Con around his Justice League movies in the Snyderverse with Warner Brothers' blessing. And for suicide awareness, like it's like to sponsor, to support suicide awareness. And like it's going to be a whole convention now. See, so like, what the fuck, Warner Brothers? Like,
such a tease.
You want this to go away. You want it to go away. You keep saying you want it to go away. Everybody's giving James Gunn shit. Just on Twitter, James Gunn is getting like just blasted constantly by these Snyderverse nerds. And now they're going to make a whole convention for them to all gather.
It's not looking good. There's going to be some riots going on.
I don't get that. I don't get why everybody all of a sudden is in love with the Snyderverse either. I mean, they bitched about it. I mean, me included, for years, and now we finally got rid of it. Finally, and God, you would think they were just redoing the whole Marvel universe. I mean, it is insane.
But it's so bizarre. Like, why do they keep feeding these like trolls?
I guess it's sort of like, as long as people are saying something about you, I guess good PR. Maybe it's good PR for the Flash. I don't know, right?
I don't know.
I mean, that's a good possibility.
But yeah, it is. They're all crazy. Again, we've said this many a times before.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
You're welcome, buddy. I'll see you later, sir. Glad you made it by.
I'll be around.
You were on your way. It was no time.
You were right around the corner. But yeah, it is. It's weird. I don't know.
No, I don't get it. It's
all I know is
what
Zack Snyder has a great PR person to continue to
keep it alive.
Oh my God, man.
And his Netflix show is coming out relatively soon, I think. Or not show,
I think so.
Movie, or maybe it's
the movie, yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
What is coming out? I'm sorry.
What's it called?
Rebel Moon.
Oh, God.
It's loosely based off of an old Star Wars script or something to that effect that he, like, well, Star Wars ain't going to use it, so I'll adapt it and rewrite it or something. I don't know. Again, I'm a fan of Zack Snyder, so I'm looking forward to it.
But yeah, I mean, this is one of those where it's like, I think Warner Brothers is too big to like really like rein it all in. I'm sure if you ask James Gunn, hey, listen, we're going to start a whole convention around the Snyderverse, which and all that vitriol, we're gonna vocalize all of these nerds. Oh, yeah, sure. Why not? Do that. That's not going to hurt us launching a new DCU.
Right.
Like let's give them more gasoline to throw on the fire. So bizarre. But yeah,
Well, you're
so
just
that's happening.
splitting. It's just kind of like the country itself. You're just splitting people up. So you're never going to get everybody on board one thing anymore because now you're constantly going to feed the old thing, feed the new thing, and everybody's just going to be split. I mean,
it's a
just
microcosm of the nation. Podman Ryan hits with the deepest cut sometimes.
Yeah,
I know.
there you go. Yeah.
I know. What an analogy for unity.
Yeah,
If everybody just drink coffee with 5 Splendas and a shot of blueberry.
Can't we all just get along?
If everybody just like one DC universe, we'd all be happy.
We are the universe. The Snyder universe.
But to your point, Brian, everybody is just giving James Gunn shit all over the place. He should say, you know what? I'm out of here. You don't have a fucking movie then if everybody's going to complain about my wife being cast and everything. I mean, it's just like everything. It's just disappointing, the nerds.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just he's just getting bombarded all the time. And what's weird is, like you would think, who else would have the pedigree that he does and the goodwill coming into this role that he does? And these fucking Snyderverse nerds, man.
Right.
They just get over it. God damn, get over it. So yeah, you got that going on. And that's part of one of the other stories we got, kind of teasing that. But we'll jump into that one. So we'll talk about our Shazam 2 review in a minute, but it has underperformed at the box office, right? And now everybody's starting to point the finger back at Dwayne Johnson, which we've been saying for a while, right? And here's the thing: like his production company produced the Shazam movie, so why the hell wouldn't he want the movie to do better? Like, why wouldn't he throw his full, the full,
the power of the Rock.
Power of the Rock at it? Like he's off the rails, man. Like it's his production company, Shazam and Black Adam. Like he's completely scuttled his own Black Adam movie. The thing you most likely expect is he'd try to save some face and then come riding in at the last minute in one of these post-credit scenes for Shazam. Nope. Didn't want any part of it.
I'm afraid Zachary Levi is going to get beat up by the Rock. I mean, Zachary Levi is going crazy on social media, kind of complaining about everything now.
Well, he's tagging stuff. He's not actually complaining, but he reposted a post on Twitter that said, "The Wrap confirms that in Shazam: Fury of the Gods, the Justice Society from Black Adam were recruiting Shazam in the post credits. The Rock denied access, and David F. Sandberg had to make a last-minute decision to add Amelia and John, which is Amelia, James Gunn's wife, Harcourt. Yeah, Dwayne The Rock Johnson attempted to restructure the DCEU, centering him and Henry Cavill Superman. The Rock didn't allow Zachary Levi to cameo in the post-credit scene for Black Adam." And so that was posted by somebody, and Zachary Levi reposted it, like basically confirming it.
Right.
Then there was a post that said, Charlie Reck, I don't know who that is. He said, "But there's no denying that at the moment there are so many Snyder fans who are happy for the failure of your film, and many of them wish that everything that is to come fails, just not continuing with the films or their director." And Levi said, "This is also true, sad but true. How much that actually affects the box office is anyone's guess, but I think the biggest issue is we're having is marketing. This is a perfect family movie, yet a lot of the families aren't aware of that, which is just a shame." So, yeah, the movie failed. The reason, and everybody's giving James Gunn shit about his wife showing up at the post-credit scene, but they had to do that because of The Rock.
Right.
The Rock not only won't appear in Shazam, he would not let any of his Justice Society characters that he established appear in Shazam.
Just crazy. I mean, PMR, I have to ask. I mean, you were a huge fan of The Rock. Call it a year ago, 2 years ago. Nowadays, I don't know if that's a true statement anymore.
Well, you know, I've been saying it for, I don't know, several months now that he kind of been getting on my nerves. He's been everywhere.
Been on my nerves, boy.
He's on Instagram. Every time I was looking at Instagram, it was The Rock talking about some fucking tequila or working out or some premiere. I think there's like 4 of them because I don't know how the fuck he does everything he does.
Maybe he's cloned himself.
I'm beginning to wonder. So, yeah, he's kind of gotten on my nerves a little bit. So,
and I think
I'm sure that upsets him.
Come on, brother. That's more of a Hulk Hogan, I think, but still, I'm trying, Brian. I think we said a while back when the Fast and the Furious family started falling apart that it's like, yeah, Vin Diesel was being an ass, but now everybody's like, maybe it was not Vin Diesel's fault after all.
Yeah,
no,
we're kind of saying it might not have been.
The more the time passes, the more this comes out that it's. I'm sure Vin Diesel is a piece of work, but The Rock went from being like having I don't know, being the rational one, being the one that had all of the equity in that situation. He has spent all of it.
Yeah,
it is bizarre.
This is tequila.
That's all he's got left is
Jesus Christ! Don't get me started.
I don't even know what his next movie is. So, but yeah,
all right.
The Rock's losing his mind.
All right, who else is losing their mind out there?
Well, apparently Netflix. Did you guys see the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always trailer?
Yeah, what the hell was that?
So they're bringing back most of the original. A
few
about
ones that
half
are still alive.
Yeah, well, about half of the original. No, not even half. Like that's weird. They brought back 3 of them, so they're doing like a Power Rangers movie, and it's going to have the blue, red, and black Ranger.
Yeah.
And for a movie, and I guess they're bringing back Rita Repulsa or whatever her name was as the villain.
Yeah,
but
she murders the Yellow Power Ranger.
Yeah. So that's what I was fixing to say.
Really quick. I mean,
so the Yellow Power Ranger who passed away in like the early 2000s in a car wreck, or late 90s in a car wreck.
Late 90s, I believe.
So they've already explained why she's not there, and that's what it is Rita Repulsa killed her.
Wow.
That's heavy.
That's heavy for a kid show.
You got that. Then you've got obviously the Green Ranger's not going to be in it because he's also passed away. Amy Jo Johnson, the Pink Ranger, is not in it. There may or may not have been a money dispute. And then the Red Ranger, Austin St. John, is also not in it for an interesting reason. He was, I guess, arrested and served jail time for his involvement in a 2022 COVID wire fraud scheme. So if he just held on just a little bit longer, he could have got some more of that Ranger money.
Can you believe that? Just a year more, he could have gotten some Ranger money. How about that? Well,
yes. So could David?
The Green,
the Green Ranger. Yeah. Oh man, David Frank. Yeah. Is it Thomas David Frank?
Something.
No,
I don't remember.
No, Tommy was his
character. You've already forgot.
No,
Tommy's his character.
Yeah. Anyway, so they're making.
I was never a Power Rangers person.
No. Well, that came out after we were well into our 20s or 50s. Yeah.
I do remember the Dollar Theater over at Cobb Center.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Dollar Theater?
Yeah.
The AC was out of the house, and it was just blisteringly hot. And so, we were just trying to get out of the house. So me and my dad went to the movies, and the only thing that was available, was Power Rangers the movie. So we sat through that movie to avoid sitting in. Just a heat stroke in the house in the middle of summer.
He leans over as he grabs a handful of popcorn from you. He's like, "This ain't no 6-pack.
This ain't no 6-pack.
No 6-packs on."
But yeah. So that's the only reason is to avoid.
There you go. So
heat.
you have a reason to watch this Netflix movie for fond memories of bonding with your father and not having a heat stroke.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
I doubt I'll see it. Let's see. Rick and Morty co-creator Justin Roiland cleared of in his domestic violence case.
Congratulations.
You're still out of a job.
A total douchebag.
Just a couple months too late. There kind of seems to be a theme that just happened a couple months earlier. But yeah, as he said, he said it would be dismissed, and it was dropped.
All right, well, good for him.
And I guess there's a theme going on because Sunday afternoon, the news broke that Jonathan Majors was arrested for assaulting a woman in New York. He also denies the claim.
Wow, what is going on with these superstars?
Well, I guess just Roiland. But yeah, I mean, Jonathan Majors, that's not a good look, Marvel.
That's not good. I guess
considering
Yellow Jacket / MODOK taught him a few things from the quantum realm, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Kind of stealing your joke there, Brian.
So this is the linchpin of all of Phase 4, or Phase 5, and he got arrested for domestic violence.
What, was he arrested or just,
yeah, he was arrested.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah, not good. And then, what's funny is you mentioned it, Brad, and I posted it on our little, group messenger or group text that I remember Hank Pym backhanding the Wasp in the comics. But when I went to go look for it, I found a different comic where he did it. So he did it at least twice in the comics.
He did it twice, but the first one he did, it was because she, it wasn't out of anger. She got mouthy with him. No, it wasn't out of anger. He was trying to protect her because she wanted to go into battle, and he was trying to protect her. So the only way he could do it is
knock her the fuck out.
Smack that bitch up.
Knock her out.
That is crazy. That's that Hank Pym mentality. I could ask her to stop, but instead, I'm going to knock the fuck out. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the one I remembered. It was They were both riding on a wall on a beam.
Yeah.
And he turned around and backhanded her and knocked her out.
That's how it starts.
So that she didn't go to the battle.
You got to do that shit, man. You got to do that.
And so I'm like, Ant-Man hits the Wasp. I'm Googling that so I can make my joke on the text, the group text, and it's like a totally different one where he knocked her out.
And she's in her lingerie.
How many times did he hit her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
this time she was in her lingerie.
She's getting all sexy time with her, and he knocks her out. So, yeah. Like you said, Brian, Kang's going to do what Kang's going to do.
Kang's going to do what a Kang's going to do.
Oh, Jesus. All right, well, good luck with him, I guess. I don't know.
I guess he truly is the worst Kang.
Yeah, that blue monkey Kang wouldn't have done that.
No. No chance. That is, I believe, it, Brad, for the...
that's it for the news. All right. Well, that's crazy news world. All right. Well, let's... we have some in memoriam? It feels like we do. We got somewhere in it.
We got a big one.
We got a big one? Oh, my goodness. Well, let's hear it. All right. Who do we have, Brian?
Lance Reddick passed away.
Star of John Wick 4.
Star of John Wick. He the Fringe, The Wire, and BMR's favorite, Balls.
Yeah, I mean, this one really hit. That dude was like he was 60 years old.
BMR
Ryan showed a clip that it was like a few weeks back.
That wasn't a few weeks back. I just told you that.
You bastard. I thought you were serious.
PMR was obsessed with how cut this guy was. He kept saying, look how cut he is. He was 60 years old.
He's 60 years old, man. He's like ripped and shit.
Yeah.
I know, right? And then he's fucking dead?
Yeah. That leaves no hope for us.
No hope. Yeah, Lance Reddick, he did a lot of voiceover work for TV animated shows and Destiny. He was a big part of the Destiny video game. But yeah, Lance Reddick. And then the clip I showed was the Lance Reddick on Eric Andre, which I think it's about 4 years old. Yeah. But I posted the clip, and PMR was like, you could tell he was shook. You could tell he was shook.
Oh, he was definitely shook.
Damn right.
So he was like, and in the clip, he gets mad. He storms off stage, and he comes back without his shirt on,
right,
and wearing a Geordie LaForge visor and Starfleet badge on his bare chest. And he starts making like this whole thing about Geordie LaForge, Reading Rainbow, and Roots, LeVar Burton. So go look at the clip. But the clip's about 4 years old, and so PMR's like, you can tell he was shook, and he goes, "Oh man, he was in great shape. How old was this? How long ago was this?" I was like 3 weeks ago.
Shit's getting close to home, man.
Yeah.
When I said 3 weeks ago, I could just feel PMR's heart sinking, like when I said it.
You're damn right it's.
I gotta go to the gym and quit. I gotta lay off that blueberry syrup.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, you know what?
So yeah.
He's probably the best part of Bosch. I mean, he really was.
Oh yeah. The level.
In Fringe, he was great in. Hell, anything he's in, he's always been great in it. So that really sucks.
The level of like animosity and like disgust he can emote when he says Bosch's name. It's fantastic. That's the whole reason. That's my favorite part of the show is every time he gets on the phone, there'll be times where Bosch calls him, and then Bosch will hang up, and they'll keep the camera on him, and he'll just go, Bosch. And he'll hang up. He fucking hates Bosch so much. That's the best part.
That's what we all hate Bosch.
We all hate Bosch.
You know what his name was in the show?
Yep.
Bosch?
No. Lance Reddick's character.
No, I do not.
Chief of Police Irvin Irving.
Oh, that's right, Irvin Irving.
Whoever wrote the books wasn't trying very hard. But yeah. So sadly, Lance Reddick has passed. He was in so much good stuff.
And we really they've not really released what happened or what's, what he died from. Yeah, I have not heard anything about
which normally means autoerotic asphyxiation.
Yeah.
God damn it.
With a body like that, can you blame him?
Can you blame him? No. Nope.
Hell nope. All right. Well, we'll miss you, Lance. You're a good man. Good man.
We will miss you.
You're a good man.
All right. Now, why don't we talk about John Wick 4? Oh, we can't do that quite yet.
We can talk about. Did you guys watch the trailer I sent?
Of what?
Sisu?
Who?
Sisu?
No, I haven't.
Sisu. You need to watch the trailer. God damn it.
Oh.
It's
Brad,
it's 5.
Oh, what was Yes, I did watch that. Okay, yes, I had to remind. I could when you saying Sisu over and over again didn't ring a bell with me. Yeah, it looks like something you would enjoy, PMR.
Oh yeah,
it's a prospector who goes John Wick on people.
Yeah. Well, he was a prospector because he was like the he was like a one-man hit squad.
Right.
He's basically John Wick in World War II.
There you go.
And so he just goes. He just
Nazis.
Yeah. He just goes nuts on these Nazis that try to take his gold. And there's a dog. So, but yeah, Cecil, you need to watch that trailer because it is batshit crazy.
I give it a shot.
I did send it to you. I did text it to you a week ago.
Yeah, that's okay.
But, you know.
That's all right. He get to it. He's very busy, Brian.
I'm a busy man. So when's it come out?
Sisu, sometime over the summer, I think. It's pretty soon.
Oh, sweet. I'll watch that.
I'll watch that trailer. All right, well, let's go to the movies, guys, because I know I can talk about one of the movies. One out of the 3 movies I can talk about, so that's good enough, I think.
Yeah, Brian.
So we can't really talk about John Wick 4 because PMR hasn't seen it, and he doesn't want to hear any spoilers, right?
Nope.
Brian, do you want to? Can Brian just give us a score?
Yes.
Okay, how about that?
Oh, all right. Yeah. So, by the way, it's 3 hours long.
Jesus Christ.
Let
me just wait for the 6-hour version to come on HBO Max.
Well, 2 hours and 50 minutes. But, and I'll tell you, this is the first John Wick with a post-credit scene.
Oh.
Right? So check that out. And honestly, you know, they really should have split this into 2 movies. I would have done John Wick, you know, part 4, you know, 1 and 2. And it's weird because this is the one they didn't give like a subtitle to, because the last one was Parabellum, right? Oh no, it was John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum, so it had like a subtitle. But they could have done John Wick 4 and then had 2 different, like, you know, subtitles and then and released it separately. I think they would have. I mean, it did really. I mean, it's the highest opening of any of them. It made 73 million domestically, which before that Parabellum made 56. And then the original, I think, made 30, which surprised everybody, made like 35 million. So this is by far the best box office
that
they've had.
Guarantees a John Wick 5 then.
Guarantees it. Yeah, they could have split it into 2 movies and probably really, you know, made some more box office, but they didn't. So you're getting a lot of value for your buck.
Okay.
That being said, Brad, you may want to take this in 2 sittings. So
it's a lot.
It's good, but I mean, it's so much action. I mean, and you know, you've got like John Wick, you've got like those like set piece sort of action scenes. Right. And the one in this one is my all-time favorite. Before this, it was probably the horse stuff, you know, in Parabellum, the stuff he did, and the dogs in Parabellum. But in this one, there's like this whole scene where it's at the beginning or towards the beginning of the 3rd act, and they end up in this abandoned apartment complex. And when they go in there, like the shots that they did, the wow for that particular, like the dogs in the Parabellum, the horses in Parabellum. There's a thing that they kind of wrap the whole like fight scene around.
Okay,
it's so kick-ass. It is so kick-ass. But yeah, I love this movie. It was so good. And there's stuff that doesn't make sense, and I'm totally fine with the fact that it didn't make sense. Like, I just don't care.
Just enjoyable.
Totally enjoyable, totally satisfying. Very good film. And they're already like, you know, they've got the spinoff, The Ballerina. We got a little bit of news on it. So the Ballerina spinoff, they've given like some context about what it's about. She was seen in Parabellum. But they've recast, and Ana de Armas is now the main character, not whoever was the ballerina in Parabellum. But it's the same character.
Gotcha.
But apparently she has a tattoo, and it says something to do with her father. And that's kind of like the mystery is, well, the tattoo is tied to her father, and everybody's like, John Wick's got a lot of tattoos. Yeah. So people are, and John Wick will be in the movie. So yeah, people are kind of hoping, I guess,
John
that it's
Wick's daughter.
John Wick's daughter.
Okay.
So
all right.
We got that. And then we got some more information around the Continental TV show, which is going to be on Paramount. No, I'm sorry, on Peacock. And so the Continental TV show is going to focus on Winston and Sharon, which is Lance Reddick.
Oh, okay.
But it's going to be them.
Not anymore.
Well, it's set in the 70s.
Oh,
okay, I got you.
It's them in the 70s. So, like when the Continental first, started. So,
all right. So your score though, that's what I want to know.
Oh, my score. So I tried to give a little bit of this stuff without spoiling it for PMR. I would give this a 5 out of 5. I told Brad, like, he was like, "Is it good?" I was like, "It's going to be my first 7 out of 5."
7
but
out
I'm
of
going to
5.
stick to I'm going to stick to the rules.
All right.
Not like PMR. Rules mean something.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So this rating system means something, PMR. So, yeah, I'll give it a 5 out of 5.
I wouldn't stick to it. You're right. I need to stick to it more.
So, there you go. John Wick, 5 out of 5.
Damn. Would you say it was better than the last John Wick?
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, you know who the bad guy is, right?
No.
Donnie Yen.
Okay.
Brad? Does that get
means
you?
Nothing for PMR.
Yeah, I don't know who John.
But does it mean something for you,
Yes,
Brad?
yes. He's a martial arts wuxia action guy that's been in a ton of Japanese stuff, I think.
Wasn't he IP man?
Donnie Yen. I think you're correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, Donnie Yen, he's fantastic. And then, so you've got the movie focuses, a lot on him. And then you've got like more of the mythology built out around the table. And then the aftermath of Parabellum. Look what happened in the last movie. It's very good. They used a lot of this. They can spin out into a lot of other things if they want to, because they introduced even more of the sort of like families. But Donnie Yen, great.
Right.
John Wick, fantastic. Go see the movie.
All right, very good.
Oh,
PMR,
sure.
there you go. I'll wait for it to come on Peacock, and I'll start all of them over by then.
You know what? I really need to start them all over again because I can't remember.
I get so lost in all that gunplay. I can't figure it out.
A lot of gunfighting.
A lot of gun.
But basically, the first movie is all about the dog. They thought it was just going to be a throwaway movie, right? Well, it was the wife dying. He's grieving. They kill his dog. He just goes on a tear to kill all of them, right? The second movie is where they did a lot of the world building, and that's where they introduced the table and they introduced, the markers and how kind of the assassin world works.
Right.
And the big thing with that one was he had somebody that called the marker. He didn't want to do it because he was still trying to get out. And he killed a guy on the Continental property, which is a big no-no. And when he killed somebody on the Continental property, then the table came after him.
Right.
And so the third movie was all the table coming after him and him trying to ally himself with Winston and the Bowery King, which is Lawrence Fishburne. But really, the third movie was a cliffhanger, and this kind of wraps up a lot of that. So,
all right. There you go. All right, we'll check it out. All right, next on the list, Creed 3.
Creed 3.
All right.
PMR, what'd you think?
I liked it, but not as good as 1 and 2. I mean, definitely not as good as 2.
Right. And so
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you.
You tell me what.
About it? I'll tell you what. I'm sorry. I'm looking at an email.
I'm sorry. I'm doing work.
Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves. No, Brian, you go ahead with it.
All right. So I was trying to let PMR lead, and I should have just waited.
Yep.
God damn, I should have just waited. So PMR hated Creed 3.
Oh, why?
Oh, you did hate it initially. We need to go.
You go ahead. I didn't hate it. I didn't like it as much. I mean,
he didn't like it.
You did clear something up for me, so go ahead and.
Yeah, he He did not like the movie. I'm trying to. Oh, I want to go find the text. Hang on. But essentially, PMR missed a major part of the movie. Like, I don't know if he nodded off.
Went to the bathroom.
He is prone to do that.
I do.
Let's see. But essentially, he missed. All right. The beauty of Creed 3 is the plan that Jonathan Majors' character, Damon, has, right? So the basically Damon and Donnie were friends in juvie. Creed's wife, Marion, pulled him out of, and remember, she wasn't his real mother, but she pulled him out of juvie when she found out that it was Creed, that he was Apollo's son,
right?
And she raised him. Okay. Well, he still tried to connect. He still tried to keep up with Donnie, right? But Donnie was still like on the streets, that sort of thing. And they get into trouble with the police, and Donnie takes the fall for it, right?
Okay.
Flash forward, 18 years later, Donnie's out, right? And he approaches not Donnie. Damon's out, and he approaches Donnie about he wants a job. Right, he wants a job. He wants to start boxing.
Wait,
and he was a Golden Gloves.
Who's Donnie?
Creed.
Oh, okay.
Adonis.
Oh, Donnie. Okay, that's where you lost me. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought his name was Adonis. Okay, I'm with you now.
Yeah. So Adonis, he approaches Adonis and wants a job. He was a Golden Gloves boxer before Adonis really was. And so he wants to, and so he starts, working his way back in with Adonis. Adonis lets him. He says, "Hey, man, I want to get a fight." He's like, "Oh, just we'll work on it. We'll work on it." Because at this point, Adonis is retired and he's promoting fights himself.
Gotcha.
Right?
He's a bum.
Well, yeah. So, so you flash forward, and they're going to have a big fight with the new world champion, and he's going to take on Drago. Right.
Oh.
And in the promotion for the fight, they're at a party and somebody breaks Drago's arm at the party. Right. And so now Adonis has a problem. He's got a fight, but no fighter, which is just like Rocky 1. Right.
Okay.
So what does Adonis do? And Damon says, he's like, your dad did it. Your dad gave Rocky a shot. Why don't you give me a shot? Okay. I've never had a professional fight. He goes, but this will be something to let me kickstart my career. Let me have the fight. And so Adonis does it. Right. Well, come to find out, and this is the piece that PMR did not understand. The guy that broke Drago's arm was Damien's cellmate.
Aha. So it's all a setup?
Okay, now with that being said, Brad, let me tell you why I didn't understand. Because the only way they kind of tell you it is you're watching the movie and he finds a picture of Damien in jail and he's doing with a bunch of other cellmates, and that guy that broke the hand is in that picture.
Yeah.
Nobody says, hey, that's the same guy. No one spells it out for
that fucking director didn't spell it out for PMR.
Yeah, I mean,
you had to assume based off a photograph. Man. And did the camera zoom in on the other guy in the photograph?
No.
Okay. All right.
Not at all.
No, they did zoom in. It did zoom in.
No.
But there's also that sort of mustache twirly sort of nod wink stuff going on during the party when Damien's there, right?
Gotcha.
So that all went over PMR's head, so he didn't catch it.
Damn right it did. This poor ass fucking director.
But basically, yeah, what I appreciate the most about this movie is his plan, man. He basically, the guy's been in jail for 18 years. He knows all these chess pieces. He sees Adonis win the title with Rocky in his corner, right? He knows his dad's Apollo. He knows all of this stuff. And so he's like, man, this is my... perfect, plan come to fruition. So basically he uses, it's an homage to the first Rocky, but he's manipulating Adonis the entire time. And then once he wins, he gets in the ring and beats the ever-loving shit out of the champion. wins the title because they're expecting it to be basically an
exhibition fight.
Exhibition. Yeah. Right? And just beats the ever-loving shit out of him, wins the title. And then when Adonis goes to confront him, he's like hanging out with all these thugs. Right? Yeah. So he completely he hoodwinked him. And then you see the real person that he was once his plan comes off. I really enjoyed that movie.
All right.
The part I did not care for was the style. I liked the fight at the beginning because you had the last fight before Adonis retires. He finally takes on the guy that was going to jail in the first Rocky movie. So you get that fight and the scene's really good. The action's really good. It kind of does like a slow down effect when he's blocking and stuff,
right?
Or when he's evading punches, which is pretty cool. But then the final fight, they did this whole stylized, fight through their history and their friendship and their rivalry. Yeah. And so it's like, the arena's empty and there's smoke effects and then there's juvie cells, that they're fighting in. And that stylized stuff kind of lost me. But, unfortunately, that's the climax. That's the worst part for me. So
interesting. Yeah. So PMR, your opinion has changed, right, since the first time you saw it?
Yeah, it has. I understand better now that the big plan of it, but there was still some small issues with the film. I mean, no, I did not miss Sylvester Stallone. I didn't miss the Rocky character at all, but I did miss a character being a mentor, or not even a mentor, just a friend with him, because. Rocky in Rocky 3, once Mickey died, he had Apollo. That's when Apollo came in. So I thought, one of the characters that came back in this movie was Drago's son came back. What's his name, Brian?
Drago or something?
It's Drago. I don't remember his first name.
Yeah. Anyway, his son comes back, and they kind of do a little... that they're friends now. They put aside their differences from the last movie. I guess, Creed has forgiven Drago for killing his father. And, I would have liked to see them develop that friendship as help them train. But they didn't do any of that with it. So that was kind of dumb. It was just kind of just Michael B. Jordan just the whole way. It was hard to really root for Michael B. Jordan because, here is a boxer. He's successful. He's rich as all get out because he's been the champion. His wife is a successful producer. They have everything. So here's this poor schmuck that's been in jail for 20 years. Basically, the reason he was put in jail was because he did. He actually, he was defending him, and, they were about to get their ass beat by several guys, so he pulls out a gun. He's 18, 19 years old. He pulls out a gun and to defend them, and he gets caught. Creed runs home like a bitch, and this guy goes to jail for him, and Creed never goes and visits him or nothing.
Nah.
So
fuck him.
This guy gets out of jail after all these years, and it's the kind of feel for the guy. He really doesn't become a mustache twirling, just bad guy. Yeah, he does this. He sets this up, but and he gets into a brief scuffle at a beach, partying with his people after the fight, and he wins. And Creed comes to confront him, saying, "I know what you did. I'm going to kick your ass." And it gets in a brief fight, but that's all the fight that they. He didn't really amount to a very strong villain that you would root for Creed. I was kind of rooting for him. I was like, Creed has everything. This guy was the underdog, here he was. So when Creed wins,
he's not really the underdog if he's got this Machiavellian type plan to manipulate everybody and. Yeah,
but he's still kind of the underdog. He is going against the champion.
No, but see, that's the thing is you don't.
I thought it was a clever way of doing it. In another movie, that would be considered clever. that he worked his way into it. What the fuck?
So here's what PMR's.
I respect the way he did it. I respect it.
He was rooting for the guy that had his cellmate break Drago's arm.
I don't know.
That's gumption.
I mean,
yeah,
you know what? That's thinking outside the box and making something happen.
That's right. He galoolied Drago.
I mean, Victor Drago, that's his name. But anyway,
PMR said
it was just hard to root. Once Creed wins at the end, you're just like, well, what was Creed going to lose if he lost? I mean, there was nothing. He was still going to be rich.
Yeah.
He was still going to be. I mean, what? He wasn't going to be considered the champ anymore. He wasn't even the champ then. He had been out of boxing for several years. There was another champ. So I mean, there was nothing on the line for him to lose at all. So it was just kind of like, I mean, so they kind of made the whole story kind of weak for me. And then I hated his fucking daughter who was deaf and was all cutesy and moxie, and it was like, oh my god,
I hate the cute daughter.
Yeah,
did he?
I hate the coach's kid.
So he was successful.
How dare she not let her handicap? Hold on. How dare she not let her handicap define her?
I didn't need to see that. I wasn't there to see a movie about this kid. I was there to see a movie about a fucking couple of boxers. And,
well, you tolerated Paulie
in the first 5 Rocky movies. You never saw his fucking son.
That's the way it should have been.
And then by number 5, when the son comes out, that's when that was the worst one.
That was the beginning of the end.
Kid. Yeah,
you saw him in 3 or in 4 or 3?
Barely.
Wait, which one was Sicko in?
He had like 2
4
lines. 5 was the one that it was about him. He's feeling neglected from his father and all that bullshit. So anyway,
stupid kids.
Stupid kids.
Well.
So anyway, I gave it I would give it a 3.
Okay. Well,
so I would give it a 4 because I appreciated the script. I appreciated that turn that they worked in there. A little twist. I appreciated it. I'll give it a 4.
Brad, have you seen it? Did you see it, Brad?
No, I don't think I've seen. I don't think I saw. I did see most of. I saw the end of Creed 2. That's where Rocky goes visits his stupid son, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen that. That's the only.
And his stupid grandkid.
And his stupid, even dumber grandkid.
His blind grandkid.
I would rewatch them. I would rewatch them again though before this one.
So.
All right. Well.
Yeah. I mean, once the twist is there, but yeah, like when the twist happened, I was like, oh, this is good. I like this. So.
Okay.
I'm gonna root for the rich guy who has everything. Yeah, you take that poor guy trying to get back into
just trying to get your what's owed
society, trying to get your piece of the pie. Fuck you, buddy. So anyway,
all right, and that brings us to Shazam 2, from Creed 3 to Shazam 2, Fury of the Fanboys. I actually saw this movie, so. There you go. That's the most I can say about it. Now, I will agree with Zachary Levi in that I guess maybe it was a good family movie. It wasn't anything. Yeah. There wasn't anything, even though there was a spoiler death in it, kind of. It wasn't too heavy. It was, I could have actually watched the kids more than Zachary Levi. But yeah, it was an okay movie, and there was a second. So again, spoiler on it that Shazam, Captain Marvel, fights Lucy Liu to the death, and there for about a nanosecond, I'm like, they may actually leave him dead, and this would be a nice ending chapter to it, right? Because we know that everything's going to get. I don't know if Shazam is going to get rebooted in the James Gunn verse, but. They ain't going to be coming back to him any, so it's like, why not kill him off? But no, he died, and then I would guess less than 5 minutes later they bring him back. So there was no emotional weight to the death whatsoever. I think the people actually went to his funeral, quote unquote funeral, where they buried him somewhere or another.
Yeah,
they were in the same clothes. So it was like they just dragged the body there.
Where did they go for this funeral? I mean, none of them had magic, so they couldn't go to a different plane anymore. So
they just drag them somewhere.
They hop a plane?
Jonah said that. Like, how the hell did they get there? Because all the doors were shut down because magic was gone, right?
Right.
It didn't explain how they got there. That's a big oversight. Where they were at was the place that, the heart of magic. It was where the wizard was captured, and that tree that he was buried under was like the. Yeah, how did they get there? There's no explaining how they got there. Because even if magic's gone, then
whatever.
So that's the biggest
Maybe
they didn't even bother.
They were just trying to wrap it up as quickly as possible, it seemed like. So the basic plot is that some old goddesses come back and hey, we want the power of Shazam or whatever, and they capture the wizard, who was entertaining enough. I mean, I like Dijon Hanjidu. And then, hilarity ensues and all that kind of stuff. Not an overly complicated plot.
Essentially, it was you found out that the wizard and his champions, because you remember in the first movie he was one of 6, right, and where they got the powers of Shazam was they stole them from the gods. So these are the daughters of Atlas, and they were coming back because they were for revenge because they took their father's powers.
Right.
So that was their motivation.
No one else had motivation, though. Throughout the movie.
So, I actually like this movie. I really didn't see, other than the ending, I thought the ending was horrible. We can go ahead and just, big spoiler here, was Wonder Woman at the end who brought Shazam back to life, like you said, Brad, 5 minutes after he died, at some unknown location that they may have
none of it
flown to or dragged his. I don't know what the fuck they did, but brought him back to life. And I don't know if y'all been reading the stories about it, but everybody's saying it's a deep fake Wonder Woman, that it was somebody on set. They just plastered deep faked her face in it.
Could be, yeah.
Because she did look a little fuzzy, uncanny valley-ish on the face on her, and she just didn't act like, I don't know. It was just weird. It was a weird. It was a weird return. It was a weird appearance by Wonder Woman. Other than the ending, I really
keeping those Snyder voice and the Snyderverse fans alive. One little movie at one nugget at a time. It's like, you have already said we're not using this Wonder Woman. Pretty much, we're going to recast everything. So why would you even introduce her? I mean, why would you put her in there? I mean, the first movie you had Superman, but you only had his chest, so that was great. You didn't. So this one you
could have just had Wonder Woman's chest.
Yeah, I would have been fine with that.
And then
he just pops out of the grave.
What?
What a miss!
And it was kind of cute that they did a throwback to that Superman appearance where the dream sequence and all that was kind of funny.
And that would have been totally fine. But anyway, I just I thought the jokes landed pretty funny. I thought the kids were pretty good. They didn't really have much to do. I mean they were peripheral, but
there's a couple of problems with the kids. One, Mary Marvel had essentially no part whatsoever. So now she's not. They have the same actress play both her and as
superhero
Mary Marvel hero and Mary whatever her last name is. So, but she got even less of a part in this movie than in the last one.
Well, I thought she had a couple of good parts.
She had a couple good parts, but she was way more integral to the. Yeah, she did have a couple good parts. She was integral to the first movie. There's a lot of subplot for her.
Stepped in that one.
Yeah. The weird thing for me is why the hell is Billy Batson so much cooler than Captain Marvel?
Yeah, he acts like a total tard as Captain Marvel.
I think everybody is saying that is like, Billy Batson acts kind of normal kid and all that, and then when he's like, hey man, is that a TikTok video? I mean, it's like he regresses or something. It makes no sense whatsoever.
His IQ drops when he
where's that wisdom?
It's all the lightning.
Yeah.
It's all the lightning. But the kid's way cooler than Zachary Levi is when he actually becomes the superhero. So was kind of odd. I'll tell you what was a little off-putting to me was when the way they killed Dietrich Bader.
What was that all about? That was
so fucking dark.
Very dark.
Walks off a building.
Such a kind of like a family fun type movie, and then it's just dark. That one scene is like,
back to the zany.
Yeah, he plays a principal who catches the bad guys up on the roof, and they possess them and make them walk off the building, and
kill himself.
My other problem with this movie is, I mean, Lucy Liu kind of phoned it in, but Helen Mirren actually did a really great job, I believe. I thought she was really good, but neither one of these characters are in the comics that I know of, and even I would have liked a more knowing villain, that's someone that we've seen before, like Dr. What is it?
Savannah.
Sylvia. And Mr. Mind. I mean, why didn't we have that? Why did we have them at the end? Hell, they were great at the end. I mean,
honestly, that gives them one extra star, the post-credit scene. God damn, that was fantastic.
Yeah, it was fantastic, but you don't have a villain in this that is on the likes of, Loki or anybody else.
Right.
But you got some throwaway villains that they come up with for the story, and so this girl, the sister, the youngest one, Rachel Ziegler. So she's like 4,000 years old, but she's gonna be hanging around banging a 14-year-old, like she'd be interested in a 14-year-old after living 4,000 years. I mean,
that's what those guys do. But have we learned nothing from Wonder Woman?
I mean, why would you want to be interested in a 14-year-old?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of creepy. I mean, you live 4,000 years, but you're wanting to hang around this 14-year-old kid. I mean, I don't know. Just. I thought the villains were kind of lame, but other than that, I thought the movie itself was, it was fun. Like you said, it was a family movie.
It was a nice kids movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Other than the guy jumping, walking off.
It doesn't really deserve the shit that people have been giving it, and the bad,
right,
and the reviews or the bad money it's making. So.
Well, it's got an 87 cinema score, so I mean, audiences like it. It's just Rotten Tomatoes hated it. Now, here's back to the villains real quick, because I got 2 cents for that. Yeah, these characters weren't in there, but like, what else do you do? Because Dwayne Johnson ain't playing ball, right?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah,
Savannah and Mr. Mind could, right? That could, but I think there's like you can't immediately jump into that weirdness. So I think they were like, all right, let's take a beat.
Immediately, this is the second movie. I mean, it's not like it's going to go like 5 movies. I mean,
well, no, but Mr. Mind's a bit of a stretch. But
it would have been fun. It would have went with the zaniest. That's
true. It would have.
And I would be in for it. But I'm sure, like as a producer or Warner Brothers, are like, I don't know, this is getting a little weird.
Go ahead. I'll tell you what I heard, but go ahead.
Who else would you have other than Black Adam, Mr. Mind, and Dr. Savannah? Right? The only other villain he's got of any notoriety is Captain Nazi. Well, you ain't doing that.
Why can't you do Captain Nazi? I mean, nobody likes Nazis. Are we going to offend the Nazis?
It's true. But I have a pitch, right? I have a pitch. And so, like, they established in the movie the Room of Doors, like, where they got all the doors to the different realms, right? And they even have, like, a fairy tale realm there. So if you wanted to, she's not a Shazam character. She's fought the Justice League, but Queen of Fables in DC. That would have been a nice switch. You could have even still had Helen Mirren, right? But make it Queen of Fables, and she's, instead of sending, the unicorns and minotaurs and cyclopses, she's sending, fairy.
That would have been really good.
Fairy tale characters.
Look at that.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I agree. That would have been. I would have enjoyed that.
Queen of Fables.
I thought you were going to say, with all the doors and everything, you were waiting for Randall from Monsters Inc. to come pop out and be the main villain.
Yeah.
But you know what? That'd been better too. But you know what? I mean, the doors. I mean, there was a lot that they introduced with this. That they could, have more movies on. But I don't know. They could.
But it would be cool to do like a villain Little Bo Peep. And do like a weird sort of horror version of Little Bo Peep and stuff like that. I think that would be pretty kick-ass, right?
And it with Shazam. I mean,
have the Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and the bears are just they're real bears. They're just attacking people, going ham. So yeah, I think Queen of Fables would have been a better fit. Although I don't necessarily I still enjoyed the characters they came up with. I prefer to see like an actual DC canon character in those type of roles.
The other thing is that it seemed like, and maybe this is just a bad memory of it, but they tried to do heroic stuff, and they were known as the Philadelphia Failures or whatever type stuff, but they never really. Other than Shazam at the end with Lucy Liu, I don't know if they really threw a whole lot of punches or anything like that. They did more saving of people and getting people out of the way than actually fighting anybody, it seemed like.
Yeah.
And that, again, that's kind of the problem of superhero shows and movies and things like that. Either the villain isn't really the villain, where it's like, oh, well, we understand why he's a villain and we'll save him from himself type person. Or there's just no real action of, it could have been really cool to have a big fight scene with the harpies and all that kind of stuff. But I don't recall them really ever throwing punches or doing anything other than just running around. And it's like, okay, well, that's kind of boring.
And I think that's a Hollywood problem, right? I mean, yes, they landed, Dame Helen Mirren for this movie, right? And she pulled it off, but I think the actors are like, oh, well, what's my arc? You're the fucking bad guy. That's your arc. Right. You're the bad guy. Like, we want you to be menacing and intimidating.
Right.
Oh, but yeah,
my redemption.
Where's my redemption? What's my point of view? Your point of view is you're a real piece of shit. That's your point of view.
But you don't have that anymore.
No. Like, you don't have that anymore. You don't have that anymore. Like,
maybe, right?
Yeah. Like, so it's...
So let me say this. There was one...
You
can explain this one. So the dome was, over the city. So they couldn't get out, right?
Yeah.
So Lucy Liu kills Helen Mirren, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But then, so she thinks she kills Helen Mirren, but the dome is still up. But then they fight.
Right.
They fight to keep the dome up. She's wanting Helen Mirren to keep it was like, okay, if Helen Mirren's the one that's keeping that dome up, and you're why did you kill her? Because you want the dome up. So
no, she wanted the dome down. She said, drop the dome.
Who did?
She wanted it down.
Lucy Liu. Yeah.
Oh, okay, but I misunderstood. Man, I got to pay more attention to these movies. Jesus Christ.
Well, toward the end, she wanted it down. I think they had it up to keep Shazam in there. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't fucking know.
Knows?
Shit.
But it was very selective. It seemed like it was selective on who could come in and out of the dome when it started shrinking. All of a sudden, like people, like some people could get out of it, but Shazam couldn't, or something like that. It was kind of, again, very whatever. Not Deus Ex Machina, but it was very convenient.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was a fine kind of, like I said, kind of kids type movie for me.
But then the biggest part for me is we got to talk about that second post-credit scene. So, the first post-credit scene, you see Hardcore and the guy, I forget his name, from Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. They approach Billy and they offer for him to join the Justice Society.
Which also, is a
Well, Steve Agee, but I can't remember his name in them.
Yeah.
What?
It was a Dwayne Johnson block. You heard about that too, didn't you?
Yep.
I heard about it about an hour
podcast.
ago. Yeah. I think I heard about that about an hour ago, PMR, when you were ordering your fucking coffee.
No wonder I don't get these. No wonder I don't get these plots in the movie.
He can't even pay attention when it's a conversation he's involved in.
I heard that Creed actor's in trouble. I don't know if you guys know this about Creed 3, but that guy's in trouble. He's in bad shape.
Oh, man.
I hope he gets a title shot when he gets out of jail. The Rock blocked. He rock blocked the first post-credit scene.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then the second post-credit scene's where it's at for me. So, like, the whole time, we're like, the post-credit scene of Shazam 1 established Mr. Mind, and Savannah was in jail. And so it starts, and Savannah's in jail still. He's grown out a huge beard, and he says he's been in jail for like 2 years.
Well, he's writing it on the wall. He's putting all the numbers on the wall, too.
Yeah. Mr. Mind comes back in, and he's like, "Where have you been?" He goes, "The plan's almost complete." And he goes on his little worm monologue, and he goes, "I only need one more." And he's like, "It's been 2 years." He goes, "Patience." And he goes, "I'm 57 years old." And he goes, "I just need to get one more thing." And then he crawls back out.
He just slowly crawls away. That's the best
He even says, he was like, "What took you so long?" He goes, "I don't have hands or feet."
Probably the last we'll ever see of him.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame too, because like I said, that movie didn't deserve the critics' rage against it that it got.
Man, that was.
Oh wow!
I would actually watch that movie again. I mean, that's I would.
Yeah. I feel bad for Zachary Levi because he seemed like he really liked being in the movie and the character and all that kind of stuff, but he was kind of the weakest part. I mean, again, if he played it just a slightly more straight of Captain Whitebread and stuff like that, as opposed to just being a big goofball, I think I would have appreciated it a little bit better. Because again, I like the kid actor, Ashton or Asher or whatever his name is, the kid actor Billy Batson, and I like the what's his face, Freddie, and all that. So the kids were actually more.
It's like he loses like 50 IQ points when he becomes Shazam. What the hell happened?
So I feel like somebody said that about 8 minutes ago.
Who was that?
So I don't know. Somebody said something outside the door. Yeah. So it's in the basement. Shut up!
Go back in the basement, kid.
It puts the lotion. What's the old? It does when it's cold.
Jeez.
So, but yeah, there's a problem when there's this polarity between the guy that's playing Billy Batson, the kid, and the adult. Honestly, I feel like Jack Dylan Grazer should have just been Shazam or Billy Batson.
Yeah,
but I think they thought he wasn't handsome enough to be Billy Batson as the teenager. But that kid's the money. That's what makes the movie.
Yeah,
so
totally. And we got the Easter egg of the original Billy Batson from
we did.
That was a great cameo. That was a great cameo with that.
That was pretty funny. Go Captain Marvel or whatever he said to him. It's like, I like that.
Yeah, he said that. That's what he said.
Pretty cool.
Well, here's a problem still with this goddamn Shazam stuff. Because he's like, "What's my name?" At the end of the movie, he asks the wizard, "What's my name?" And I'm like, "Please just say Captain Marvel. Please just say Captain Marvel, or say the Captain, right? Or the champion, or
Right.
like. But he's like, your name's Shazam. Okay, well, what the hell does Freddy call himself? Freddy Shazam,
Right.
And Mary Shazam,
Right.
Shazam Jr.
Pedro Shazam.
Pedro Shazam, other guy Shazam.
Triple Shazam.
Yeah.
Pedro
Again, it's almost like at the end they were like, everybody knows this is the last movie we're making, right? Okay, good. All right, roll. Go ahead, do whatever, ad lib it, whatever you want to do. Probably not the case, but it almost felt like that toward the end.
Well, and it's sad because, but without the Wonder Woman cameo, you could have said this was never Snyderverse.
Well, I was going to say,
Yeah.
I've kind of heard Zachary Levi seems to think he's going to be in this new James Gunn universe.
They all
So I
think
don't know.
that.
I mean, maybe because the Peacemaker people were in it. Maybe he thinks that's gave him.
I'm getting recruited for
leg up on
Peacemaker.
everything. I don't know.
Yeah, well, wishful thinking.
I will say though, if you had, Dr. Fate, Hawkman, and Shazam, that's a pretty decent, start to a Justice Society.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry, Rock.
the best part of Black Adam was Dr. Fate by far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that movie still was ass though. That was a terrible movie.
Completely.
I mean, y'all all like Dr. Fate in that. I mean, he was all right, but he couldn't save that movie. He wasn't that great. I mean,
Wasn't that good? Ain't that good?
no,
But-
that movie was god awful.
I will give credit on this for Shazam 2 that a lot of other more contemporary superhero. Again, this was close to the final battle. The final big battle with the Minotaur and the Harpies and all that stuff took place for the most part during the daytime in the city, as opposed to in an abandoned warehouse at night
Right.
or whatever. So again, I think that helped it out. Even though again, I don't think there was a whole lot of fighting going on, but it was like, oh, okay, these minions and everything are terrorizing people and all that stuff and presenting a real threat, as opposed to we're in an old abandoned nuclear place in Ukraine or whatever.
Yeah.
I will say also, like, the mythological characters look really cool, like the Cyclops, the Harpies. I thought they did a really good job. Great design. I mean, the unicorns. I mean, they look
The
really
Skittles commercial.
cool. Yeah, I mean, it was,
Not since E.T. as a movie.
yeah.
Try to get you to eat candy so badly. All right, so I'll give it a 3. I'll give it a solid 3. Not sure if I may watch it again, but doubtful.
I'd actually give it a 4
All right.
because I think I would watch it again on a
Brian?
very lonely afternoon.
There you go.
I'll go 3.
All right.
I'll go 3.
All right. Well, that's good enough.
Let's see.
All right. TV stuff. We spent way too much time on talking about Shazam,
Long movies.
I think. Let's go to the TV land. All right. Well, I got nothing in the TV world, I don't think, other than I started watching, it's kind of more of what you're looking at, but started watching Shrinking on Apple TV with,
That was mine.
yeah, Harrison Ford. It's
Yeah,
Pretty good.
I tried.
no, didn't take with you.
It's so good. It's so good.
I've been enjoying it. I like all the characters really well and everything. So, all right, that's more of a what you're looking at. But I wanted to throw that out there and give Brian a gimme there.
Thank you. Thank you.
But you guys have been watching. No one's watching Mandalorian, which is fine. I kind of feel like I want to watch it just to have it on in the background, but not pay attention to it. But you guys are all over Picard.
Yeah, I've watched. I'm caught up. Brian's not. I think Brian's one episode behind, which has so far been the best episode. They've all been good. I mean, it's hard to pick which episode is the best, but this last one really knocked a home run. I'm still waiting for it to skid off the pad though, because the Picard show has a history of starting out okay, but really, crashing and burning. But so far, I mean, this show has started strong because it's done what we've always said, or at least what I've always said, is you're using characters from all these other shows that was in that timeline, Voyager,
Right.
Deep Space Nine, Next Generation, and you're gathering these characters all together, and now they're going as far as making the kids of these characters, are in Starfleet, and it's been excellent. I mean, I can't say enough about this show. This captain that's on the Titan that they kind of are operating on, he starts out, he's a real asshole. I mean, hell, he's still an asshole, but he's entertaining. And he's not wrong. No, he's not wrong at all. And he would be a great captain and they're already talking about it. They're already talking about a show called Star Trek Legacy that would have the Titan run by this captain with 7 and 9 as the first officer, as she is in the show, and then have these kids who are kids of the Next Generation or other characters from Star Trek in this era be on the show. So I hope they do it. I don't know who this guy is that's taken over as showrunner. Everybody's talking about him because he's doing such an excellent job. But man, this show has just been incredible. Just as a Star Trek geek who has been out of Star Trek for a long time, and even when I tried to get back into it with Discovery, it wasn't the same track. It was terrible, but I trudged through it. This has got all the feels to it from back then, back in the 90s. It's really good. So if season 1 and 2 of Picard fucked you up and you kind of quit and you're not trying season 3, I would strongly recommend it. It's probably the best Star Trek.
Stick in there. Hang in there. Stick with it.
Yeah.
All right.
So, what do you think, Brian? Same thing?
Is it Michael Gabon?
No, it's something with an H.
Okay. I gotta look. But yeah, Michael Gabon's well known. Like he's a big time Star Trek guy. He also wrote The Escapist, that book that I recommended for you. That was kind of like a fictional, but also kind of like historical history of the comic book industry through the 40s, 50s, and 60s. But yeah, the show's good. My favorite person, like you've got the asshole captain, which I forget his name, but you have the asshole captain. What?
Shaw.
So Shaw, like in the first episode, you're like, oh, what a dick, and then you start realizing, well, no, like he's right. Like, what the fuck are Riker and Picard doing? Like they can't just commandeer a spaceship. Like what are they doing? So like he's kind of the Han Solo in those terms. Like he's pointing out the absurdity of what Picard and Riker are doing.
That scene of him in the elevator, and when he's like, well, it could be because you crashed the saucer of a starship on a planet, or maybe you violated the Prime Directive so you could snog a woman on a planet. I mean, he just gives like 3 examples of total fuck-ups that they did. And he goes, man, you two are really a study for which came first, the chicken or the egg, when it comes to crisis. It was great. I mean, the guy is fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, that showrunner is a guy named Terry Matalas. I never heard of him before. No. But yeah, I'm thankful that we're not tied into the stupid Nooney and Singh bullshit, and we have to have, oh my God.
Have to have data, and it has nothing to do with Khan, right? I mean, just that's refreshing.
Data, that one limb family tree that everybody looks like Data. I was really wanting him to do a Michael J. Fox thing like Back to the Future and have him play a woman in there and be Data.
Well, yeah, that was what I was going to say. I want to see the female end of the of that family tree, and they all look like Brent Spiner too.
Just have him wear a wig. I wish they would have done that. Hello. I mean, why not? I mean, Jesus Christ, they did. I mean, it's been so ridiculous. So
I will say, like, some of the fighting, like, what was it, the third episode? But basically, you know, Riker and Picard, they hatched this plan to go steal a star, or the Titan, the USS Titan, right? So they steal a Starfleet, you know, ship, right? That's their whole plan, is to steal a ship. And as soon as they steal the ship, they just start bickering like two old ladies and fighting about everything. There's parts of it where in that third episode where I felt like it was like Waldorf and Statler from the Muppets. They're just sniping at each other the whole time. But it was their plan to begin with. So, yeah,
even that was kind of cool because it was they had this thing that they wanted to do, but when Picard got his son, his way of doing things had changed because now he wanted to protect his son from this evil person that was after his son, and Riker was only worried about getting the crew back to safety because now he was put in charge of the ship. When Riker wasn't in charge of the ship, he could give a shit less about any of those people, you know? I mean, but as soon as Shaw put him in charge of the ship, his whole, you know, mission changed. It was now, you know, I'm the captain of the ship. I've got to worry about these people. So it was kind of interesting the way they did that.
Well, the bad guy in episode 4 was Carla Tortelli from Cheers. That took me out of it. A little bit.
That ain't Carla Tortelli.
It's just like Rhea Perlman.
It's Amanda Plummer, man. Jesus Christ.
You need to go Google it. For anybody that has it, I want you to do it. I'll put it on the Facebook feed or the Instagram. But I want a side by side of the actress that's what's her name?
Amanda Plummer.
Amanda Plummer,
who is the daughter? Who is the daughter of Star Trek VI villain Christopher Plummer, by the way?
And I want a side by side of her and Rhea Perlman. Because they are separated at birth. It took me out of the scene immediately.
Damn, man.
Yeah, it's good. It's by far the best season of Picard, right? It's Discovery season 1 was like the strongest of these Paramount Star Trek shows. And it's just backslid since then. This is probably and I haven't watched Strange New Worlds, but this is by far the best since Discovery, and it's nice seeing all these established characters. But now you've got Geordi's daughter, right? You've got who may or may not be Picard's son. I still don't know that he's Picard's son for sure.
He is. They confirm it this episode.
Okay. And then, but you know,
Maury Povich comes out.
They go on the holodeck, and it's the episode of the Povich of Maury Povich.
Yeah.
You are the father.
You are the father.
So, I mean, it's good, but I mean, it's at the same time, it's like, you know, it's hard. It's also hard for me to kind of take Jonathan Frakes and Patrick Stewart serious in some sort of action role. Like, so.
Oh my God, one of them's like, you know, 88 years old. The other one's like 65.
Yeah.
70,
so there you have it. But yeah, I'm enjoying it, but you know,
it's probably the best reunion show or, you know, sequel of this type since, you know, Cobra Kai. I mean, and they're doing basically. I mean, they're basically doing the same thing Cobra Kai did. I mean, they're going back. They're deep cutting into old stories. I mean, they brought Lauren Rowe back. You know, the sixth episode. I mean, that was a deep cut from Deep Space Nine. I mean, not Deep Space Nine, but Next Generation that we never thought we'd ever see her again. Plus, they kept it such a secret that when she actually appeared on screen, you're like, holy shit, is that? I mean, it was kind of a shock to everybody. So this show is really just knocking it out of the park.
Ensign Rowe?
Ensign Rowe, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that episode yet. So thanks for spoiling it. Yeah. I'm wondering when, I hope like some Deep Space Nine characters show up, right? I mean,
since the bad guys are the Changeling. I mean, the Changelings are the bad guys. So, I mean, they were the bad guys in Deep Space Nine towards the end. So, yeah, I mean.
When's Quark going to get some of that post-Star Trek money?
Yeah.
Dude, I mean.
Can we get Keelix? What's Keelix doing?
Oh, let's not get Keelix. What was the Keelix? No, what was Neelix, and he merged with the Vulcan?
No, Neelix, that's right, yeah.
What was
Tuvok? The Vulcan was Tuvok.
Yeah, so it was Keelix or something when they merged together. It was god awful. But you know what? I never watched Voyager, so
there was. I don't know that we covered this, but just speaking of Benson characters, have you watched the? You're current on. Oh my God, it's Poker Face, right?
No, I am not.
Oh, did you see the episode about the band though?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And it was the earworm was the theme song from Benson.
Benson.
So he writes this song and like, this has got a great hook. And then they kill him. They kill him. He kept watching Benson episodes. And they kill him. They kill the guy and steal his song. And then they go to the record label, and the record label's like, we can't use this. And they're like, why? They play the song, and then they play the theme song for Benson, and you can see it's the same song.
So the guy just had it in his head.
He had the theme song for Benson stuck in his head. So he wrote a rock song.
That's got a great sound to it. That's a great sound. Fucking Benson's theme. Great show, man.
That was probably my favorite. That was probably my favorite episode.
You weren't kidding about Boardwalk Empire. I'm trying to get through the last 2 seasons of that, man. Once they killed off their second main character, this show's all over the place.
Yeah. And they said it's because he was an asshole, but then they made 2 more seasons without him, or 3 more seasons without him.
Actually, it's been 3, and is that why he got fired?
Yeah, they fired him, and so they killed him off. Like he was so difficult to work with. So
Steve Buscemi's great in it, but everything else is just all over the place. I mean, it's just like they introduced. I mean, Michael Shannon's in it. He's been in it the whole time, but like I think him and Steve Buscemi's only shared like 1 scene together, and that was in the first season. I mean, his characters has no interaction whatsoever with. It's just insane. I mean, it's just weird the way all these characters have gone in so many different directions, and they never interact anymore. So
yeah, and then they bring in Charlie Cox, but then Charlie Cox,
he's not Daredevil. So
yeah, I guess he got Daredevil. Yeah, so he kind of peters out too. So
they killed him. So spoilers, but I mean, hell, 8-year-old show. So, but yeah, I mean, it just, I don't know. And like the main female character, I'm on the 4th season now. I'm almost finished the 4th season. And she has only been in like 2 episodes, and it was like very quick scenes. I mean, now they got Patricia Arquette in there, and I've never been a big fan of Patricia Arquette. So I don't know.
Well, yeah, she started getting hot because she's the voice of Merida in the Disney movie, and then she was the voice of Friday in Iron Man and the Iron Man 3. But then she started booking other stuff too.
Yeah, so. I'm not a fan, and I don't know. I'm glad when this show's. I'm just committed now. I'm just trying to trudge through it. Then after I trudge through this, when I have time and I'm at home, I'll try to watch Poker Face, finish that up.
Well, that's much better. Of the 2, that's much better. Now, but that's probably a perfect segue, trudging through the end of Boardwalk Empire, because God damn it, I've been trudging through the fucking Taylor Sheridan universe, and that dude. my God. Like, we watched Yellowstone, and
It
like,
starts out really good.
yeah, until you realize like half the plots they propose, they never finish. They never, bring it to fruition. They never, they all these threats just kind of peter out.
Have you got to season 5 where literally nothing seems to happen at all? I mean,
I'm on. So we finished season 5, right? And literally nothing happens.
No.
Like it's just, you go from like, well, this is batshit crazy to, nothing ever came of it. Oh well, like just these weird. It's like he has ADHD. It's like he can't. So
have you got to that episode in the 5th season where it's Jimmy at that ranch, and like the first 30 minutes of it's Jimmy at that ranch?
Yeah,
nothing really happens, and then like they go back to the regular characters, and that's it. You never see Jimmy at the ranch again. It's just really weird. I mean, it's like, what's going on here?
Well, yeah, and I think some people have said that it's because Costner didn't want all the long shooting days, like, because they would do sun up and sunset stuff and all that kind of stuff. But still, like,
he's not the only character there. I mean,
he's not the only character there.
Fucking characters, man. I mean,
the best character is Rip. Like Rip and what's the daughter's name? Shit.
I want to say Beverly, but it's not Beverly.
No. Anyway,
Beth.
But
it's Beth.
Beth. So you've got that. We went from that, and we had already watched season 1 of Mayor of Kingstown before we watched Yellowstone. And Mayor of Kingstown, it wants to be The Wire and stuff like that, but it can't really pull it off. And then you get to season 2. Have you watched season 2 of Mayor of Kingstown?
I have.
Jesus Christ. You want to talk about nothing happening and nothing paying off?
No.
Like,
right.
It goes on, like in the first episode.
Way too fucking much, man. Good Lord.
They drag it out. So basically, there's at the end of season 1, there's a riot in the prison, and they have to send SWAT in.
I love that. The riot was great. That was a good season ender right there.
Yeah, that was a good season ender. And so this is the aftermath of that. But then there's gangs on the streets, like, because what happens in the prisons is spilling out into the streets. And so Mike, who is oh my God, what the hell's his name? Hawkeye. Jeremy Renner.
Mike. Yeah.
Mike, his character decides he's gonna send the gang bosses into prison so they can create a new hierarchy and then get them out, right? So he sends them in, and then once they're in prison, the DA's like, I don't want them back out on the streets. Which, who didn't see that coming?
Right. I mean, come on.
And so it takes him like 8 episodes to get them back out of prison. But that's the only plot line.
That's the only thing going on, man.
It's the Bob guy calls him, when you get me out of prison? I'm working on it. 45 minutes later, he calls him back. When you get me out of prison? I'm working on it. That was the entire season. Yeah. And so now the only real subplot is there was a SWAT team that went into the prison that rescued everybody. But they went in, guns blazing. And so all these mobsters all these gangsters want that SWAT leader dead. They all want him dead. But also, like, the DA is looking to prosecute them because of some of the things they did too. So this is just the most batshit crazy explanation for how they squash it, right? So the SWAT guy's name is Robert. I don't know his last name. But he's like the Frank Grillo, Punisher type guy, right? One of the guys on his team is going to testify against him, and they figure out who's going to testify against him. So one of the detectives for the police department who works as a volunteer at the prison with a serial killer gets the serial killer to break a tooth so he can take him to the dentist. I'm not making this shit up. He gets him to chew on a rock, break a tooth so he can take him to the dentist. Instead of taking him to the dentist, he takes the serial killer to this guy's house that's going to testify against the SWAT leader to intimidate him. Well, who didn't see this coming? The serial killer kills the guy. So now he has to escape with the serial killer and bring him back to prison. So let me ask you, what do you think the stakes were? What do you think the comeuppance was from this action? Nothing whatsoever. They don't mention this guy's been murdered. This police officer's been murdered. The guy even says, my wife and daughter will be here at the grocery store. They'll be home soon. So they're in Kingstown. So like this police officer gets murdered by a serial killer who's on day pass for his tooth. He gets brought back to the prison. Nothing is said ever about it again.
Yeah, that was pretty fucked up. The first season is definitely better than the second one.
It's the stupidest shit. Oh my god, it is awful. It's awful. And Yellowstone is just a soap opera. It's today's, a poor version of Dallas. So, oh God, I'm off the Taylor Sheridan wagon. I will not be watching anything else that he has had a hand in.
Hey, you thought those are bad? You should have watched 1923. Holy shit! One of the brothers is literally in Africa when it starts, and his whole arc for 10 episodes is him trying to come home. And by the end of the 10th episode, he still ain't fucking home. I'm like, they need him back home. They need him home. And it's like he ain't home yet. He's still working on it. Takes a long time back in 1923 to get fucking home, man. Yeah. I'm like, holy shit, what is taking these fuckers so long to get home?
It's, yeah, man. That show, goddamn. And then did you notice the whole thing? This first season, the mom was like giving Mike shit all the time, giving him shit.
I keep wanting her to die.
Well, the second season, she's completely different though. In season 2, she's all, oh Mike, I just love you so much. It's like she's a completely different character in the second season. Same actress, but completely different character.
I keep hoping with each scene she's in, someone's gonna come and pop a bullet in her head, but no.
Have you finished season 2?
Oh yeah.
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 The good news is we're probably not getting season 3. So.
No, we know that motherfucker's on a stepper the other day, so he's fine.
He's gonna be in a wheelchair like Ironside.
He's actually he was on a treadmill. I'm sorry, it wasn't a stepper; it was a treadmill. So. He's doing fine. I don't think the reason he's on that stepper is to get back for mayor of Kingstown. I don't think they got a picture like a promotional photo. That's what he's walking towards. I gotta get back to Kingstown. Oh, yeah. So it's a paycheck, man. Successful show. So, but all that to say, he is. He's well on his way to recovery, so they won't have to recast Hawkeye. God bless him.
We'll never have to revisit Hawkeye again.
So that's the garbage I've been watching. But Brad, to your point, Shrinking is fantastic.
I've enjoyed it.
Watched the whole season. PMR, I think you.
Ted Lasso came back.
Ted Lasso's back. I'll tell you, Shrinking's better than Ted Lasso season 3 so far. Oh yeah. How many episodes have you watched of Shrinking?
I tried watching 2, and that was too many.
That was enough.
That's where you need to get to 3. Honestly,
of course, you always need to get.
He fools you that. Well, don't trust him.
Brian, you love it.
No, I thought it was good, but it's just not PMR style. It's like you guys trying to talk me into watching Bosch or Yellowstone or one of those things. It's like, nah, that's okay. I'm sure it has its merits, but I don't care.
I'll tell you, it's when you get later in the season, it's got a lot more DNA with Scrubs than it does Ted Lasso. How does that land, PMR?
You know what? If I get really I may
really bored.
Right now, I'm
basically episode 1. He's in this awful place. Episode 2, he's still kind of but by episode 3, he starts making some progress as a character. And so once Jimmy is in a little bit better footing, you get to focus more on the other characters,
right?
And the other characters are where it's at.
Yeah, I think the whole cast is pretty strong. I thought, but
oh yeah,
right.
Great show.
Right.
Great show. 5 out of 5.
That's about the only new thing I'm watching, I think. I did finish watching Knock on the Cabin. M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. Yeah.
How was that?
It was fine. I mean, nothing wrong with it. Dave Bautista, again, he's a strong actor. I think he pulls off some emotional heavy stuff and everything. But it was a movie.
Well, yeah, he said he doesn't want to be. His goal wasn't to go out and be an action star,
right? Like
The Rock and John Cena. He wanted to have an actual acting career. So
he was really good in going back to circle all the way back to the beginning 2 hours ago with Zack Snyder. He was good in Army of the Dead, I thought. Bautista or whatever that Dead movie. That he was a little bit more of a layered character and stuff like that than just, like you said, normal action movie. But I think that's probably about it. Is Shrinking and that movie.
I picked up a comic. Give you a quick shout out. We hadn't done a comic book shout out in a while. PMR, have you been reading Flash: The 1 Minute War?
No, I heard it was good.
Yeah, so me and Alex were. I wish he was on the podcast, but it's pretty interesting because basically, the Flash is all about the Speed Force. And I don't know why they've never proposed this question before, but basically an alien race attacks Earth using the Speed Force. They figured out a way to tap into the Speed Force, but they can't naturally tap into it. They need to use speedsters as a battery. That's how they get into the Speed Force, is they basically kidnap people that are force sensitive, I guess, but Speed Force sensitive. But it's so basically it's been 6 months, but time is effectively frozen for everyone else on Earth. So that's why Superman and Batman and all can't get involved. And it's so all the Flash family taking on these alien invaders and the 1 Minute War. It's very good, very good. Have you been reading any comics lately, Peter?
I have not. No, well, actually, I have. Captain America is really good right now. For those who's the Steve Rogers one. Actually, both of them are. The Sam Wilson one's pretty good too, but Steve Rogers one is has a lot of callbacks to the old invaders from back in the 70s, and which was a World War II group. And I don't know, it's a good read, good art. They're doing a storyline of a very deep conspiracy from back before Captain America was created, and his shield is designed for that deep conspiracy. So it's pretty cool. It's probably one of the better comic books I've read in a long time. So highly recommend.
Is it getting into Culper Ring type stuff?
I'm sorry?
Is it getting into Culper Ring type stuff?
Not that I'm aware of. What's Culper Ring?
The president's spies?
No. But
okay.
I mean, it's really cool. You really need to read it. It's a really good book. The new Fantastic Four is pretty good too. I've read that. That's been pretty decent. Great art in it in both of those. So, but yeah. I think that's about it. The Spider-Mans I've tried to read those and they're kind of garbage. X-Men are just too complicated. I mean, it's really good if you read everything, but it's more of a sci-fi book now than it is a superhero book. So. Well,
yeah, I'm not reading much Marvel. Last thing I read Devil's Reign. So
I would recommend Captain America if you want something really just a really good read. That's a good read.
Mm-hmm.
And I would recommend Fantastic Four too. Not Captain Marvel, Captain America.
Wow.
In fact, in the new Fantastic Four book's really good. Other than that,
all right.
That's pretty much it. That's all I'm reading.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what are we at? We're got to be at 2 hours. Yeah, we're at 2 hours.
We're
150.
2 hours,
Yeah. 150.
So,
All right. Well, maybe next time. What do we have coming up movie wise? Anything good? Right.
What we got to do?
Reinfeld. That's probably coming out sometime soon, right?
Yeah, Renfeld. The Mario movie. We still got to do John Wick.
Gotta do John Wick.
Brad, are you going to go see? Are you going to see the new Evil Dead?
Nah, probably not. I'll wait for streaming.
Have you seen the trailers for it?
Yeah, it looked good. I just, they can wait.
All right.
all right.
Fair enough.
I just, going out to the movies is an expensive trip nowadays. Gosh, I don't know. The only last time that I wasn't disappointed is when I saw Jesus Revolution.
Hey,
Yeah, that was the only time that I'm
man.
like, well, look at this. An original story, more or less, Jesus coming back from the dead. No, just kidding. But no, original story and not a sequel or anything like that. It's like, well, there you go. That's what a movie's for. But
Every
just
once in a while, you got to have something that's, something different. Kind of cleans the palate.
Yeah, because everything that we've talked about, again, I'm sure John Wick 4 is fantastic, but it's like, okay, well, it's a guy getting chased and shoot him up type stuff. It's like, I'm sure that Brian will discuss in the next podcast about all the different things about it or whatever. But again, it's kind of the same old, same old.
Speaking of just broke. Donnie Yen was asked, and he said he would love to come back for a spinoff of his character Kane
They all
in
do.
a standalone movie.
Who the fuck is
Who the fuck is Johnny Yen? Yeah. Well, what's so funny is that all of these things are not necessarily clickbaity or whatever, but it's like all these things of like Donnie Yen said he would. It's like, yeah, of course he would like to have his own franchise of a movie and get paid more. Very few times are there articles about, so and so says that, yeah, he played it once and he's done with it. Like Mary Marvel. The actress that plays Mary Marvel is like, oh, I'd love to be in it. It's like, I'm sure you would, but it's not going to happen. I did see Fall. I didn't even know that was her. But that was a ridiculous movie, but it was kind of fun to watch. About two girls that climb up.
Fall?
Two girls, one of them Mary Marvel,
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
climbs on a giant radio tower and then gets stuck there. So
That's a movie?
that's a movie. That's what we've come to.
Jesus Christ.
I know. All right. Well, maybe next time we'll have Alex and he can debate a few more things with you boys. All right. We're all.
Also,
Brian's looking for more news.
no, I was reading this too. A little more news. Ballerina is set for release in 2024.
All right.
So,
Oh, well, there you go.
Well, there you go.
They're churning that shit out, aren't they?
Well,
I think the Continental set in the 70s is pretty interesting too. I think that should be. I don't know. That'll be good as well.
all right.
Yeah, that'll be fun to watch.
Oh, PMR, maybe you can go see John Wick 4.
I may.
All right.
Settle down a little bit. I may.
Well, I'll have a MegaCon report next time we meet.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, man.
because that's in about 2 months from now when we record again.
No, it's like next week. Next weekend.
Oh, okay. Try to get some interviews. We need another good interview
That's
show.
a good idea. Oh, yeah, you should record some questions, Brian.
Yeah, record some
Do some
questions
live
and a few
interview with
answers.
somebody.
Yeah.
No, just a question. Just ask him.
Sir, where are you going? Please come back. Hold the elevator.
All right. Well, Brian, we expect a full report on MegaCon, but until next time,
save it for the podcast.